Tired of food scraps filling up your trash? Stick around. I'll show you how to turn everyday waste into nutrient-rich compost that makes your garden thrive. Transforming kitchen scraps into rich, nourishing compost doesn't just benefit your garden, it's also an empowering way to reduce waste and contribute to the health of the planet. Imagine a cycle where every vegetable peel, coffee ground, or eggshell you discard becomes the foundation for vibrant flowers, lush vegetables, or thriving herbs. Composting is both ancient and accessible, and creating your own DIY compost bin is simpler than you might think. Let's explore, step by step, how you can turn kitchen scraps into compost effortlessly, and how to build a bin that fits your space, lifestyle, and gardening ambitions. Let's begin with the basics. What is compost, and why is it so valuable? Compost is organic matter that has decomposed and transformed into a dark, crumbly soil amendment rich in nutrients. As it breaks down, it returns essential minerals and vitamins to the earth, improves soil structure, helps retain moisture, and supports beneficial microbes. For gardeners, compost is often called black gold, a natural fertilizer that nurtures plants and helps them resist disease. The beauty of composting is that it's powered by everyday kitchen waste. Vegetable peels, fruit rinds, coffee grounds, tea bags, eggshells, stale bread, and even used paper towels can all become fodder for future harvests. Instead of sending these scraps to the landfill, you can harness their potential right in your backyard, balcony, or even indoors. Let's dive into the essentials of composting, starting with what you can and should compost. Kitchen scraps are generally divided into two categories: greens and browns. Greens include moist, nitrogen-rich materials like fruit and vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, and fresh grass clippings. Browns are dry, carbon-rich materials such as shredded newspaper, cardboard, dead leaves, and sawdust. A successful compost bin balances these greens and browns. Too many greens can make the pile wet and smelly, while too many browns can slow decomposition. Strive for a ratio of roughly 3 parts brown to 1 part green. Each time you add kitchen scraps, layer them with shredded paper, dry leaves, or cardboard to maintain this balance. Before building your DIY compost bin, consider the space you have available and the volume of scraps you produce. Compost bins come in many forms: simple piles, enclosed boxes, tumblers, or even worm bins. For many home gardeners, a basic bin crafted from inexpensive materials is ideal. You can make one using a large plastic storage container, wooden pallets, or even a sturdy trash can. Let's walk through a straightforward DIY compost bin that suits most households. Start by selecting a large, lidded plastic storage container. With a drill or sharp tool, make holes in the bottom and sides for airflow and drainage. Composting relies on oxygen and moisture to break down materials efficiently. Place your bin in a shaded spot outside or on a balcony if you live in an apartment. Set the bin on bricks or wooden slats to allow air to circulate underneath. Begin by adding a base layer of browns, shredded newspaper, dry leaves, or torn cardboard. Next, sprinkle in your kitchen scraps. Every time you add fruit or vegetable waste, follow with a layer of browns. Keep the contents moist, but not soggy. Think of the consistency of a wrung-out sponge. If it's too dry, add water. If it's too wet, mix in more browns. Turning the compost is important to introduce oxygen and speed up decomposition. Use a garden fork, stick, or gloved hands to mix the contents once a week. This simple action keeps the pile from becoming compacted and helps break down materials quickly. What kitchen scraps work best? Almost anything plant-based is fair game, but avoid adding meat, dairy, oils, or heavily processed foods, as these can attract pests and slow decomposition. Eggshells are a great addition. Crush them first to help them break down faster. Coffee grounds and tea bags provide valuable nitrogen, but remove staples from bags before tossing them in. Citrus peels, onion skins, and garlic can be added in moderation, but too much can disrupt the pile's balance. Brown materials are just as vital. Along with paper and cardboard, you can use wood chips, straw, and even corn cobs. If you have houseplants, spent potting soil can also be added, as can cut flowers or spent garden plants, provided they're free from disease. As your compost pile grows, you'll notice it heating up. This warmth is the sign of active decomposition, as microbes and fungi break down the organic matter. If the pile is too cool or slow, add more greens, turn the contents, and moisten as needed. Conversely, If it smells sour or attracts flies, add more browns and turn the pile to aerate. In a few months, sometimes as quickly as 6 to 8 weeks, you'll begin to see the transformation. The original scraps will fade, replaced by a dark, earthy material with a pleasant, soil-like smell. This is your finished compost. To check if it's ready, look for a crumbly texture, uniform color, and the absence of recognizable food scraps. Use your finished compost to enrich garden beds, potting mixes, or lawns. Spread a layer around the base of plants, mix it into soil before planting, or brew compost tea by steeping it in water and pouring the liquid around your garden. Composting is a journey, and as you gain experience, you'll discover tips and tricks to make the process even easier. For example, chopping kitchen scraps into smaller pieces speeds decomposition. Collect scraps in a countertop container. A simple bowl, pail, or dedicated compost caddy works well. When it's full, empty it into your outdoor bin. This routine keeps your kitchen tidy and ensures a steady supply of compost ingredients. If you're concerned about odors or pests, keep your bin covered with a lid or tarp. Add a layer of browns on top each time you deposit scraps, as this acts as a natural filter. Don't forget to check moisture regularly. A dry pile won't break down, while a wet pile can become anaerobic and smelly. For gardeners with limited space, consider a worm bin, also called vermicomposting. This method uses red wiggler worms to process kitchen waste rapidly, producing nutrient-rich castings perfect for houseplants or container gardens. A worm bin can be kept indoors or outside and requires little maintenance beyond feeding the worms and keeping their bedding moist. Composting also benefits the environment. By diverting kitchen scraps from landfills, you reduce methane emissions, a potent greenhouse gas produced when organic matter decomposes anaerobically. Every handful of compost you create helps close the loop, returning nutrients to the soil instead of wasting them. As you master the art of composting, you'll find it's more than just a gardening technique. It's a lifestyle shift. You'll become more mindful of what you consume, waste less, and cultivate a deeper connection to the cycles of nature. Over time, your garden will reward you with healthier plants, bigger yields, and vibrant blooms. 1. Keep a dedicated container for kitchen scraps. Whether it's a countertop bucket or a simple bowl, collect fruit and vegetable peels, coffee grounds, eggshells, and other compostable waste throughout the day. 2. Balance greens and browns. Remember the 3-to-1 ratio. Layer every batch of moist kitchen scraps with dry material like newspaper, cardboard, or dead leaves. 3. Build a DIY compost bin from accessible materials. A lidded storage container with drilled holes for airflow and drainage works beautifully for beginners. Place it in a shaded, well-ventilated spot. 4. Turn your compost regularly. Mix the contents weekly to introduce oxygen and prevent compaction. 5. Monitor moisture. The pile should be damp but not waterlogged. Add water or dry materials as needed to achieve the right consistency. 6. Avoid problematic materials. Skip meat, dairy, oils, and heavily processed food to keep pests away and maintain healthy decomposition. 7. Protect against pests and odors. Always cover new deposits with browns and keep your bin closed or covered. 8. Harvest finished compost. Look for a dark, crumbly texture and earthy smell. Use it to enrich soil, top-dress plants, or brew compost tea. 9. Experiment and learn. Composting is a dynamic process, and each bin is different. Adjust your technique based on results and enjoy the journey. Beyond the practical steps, composting nurtures a sense of stewardship. Each banana peel or coffee filter tossed into the bin is an act of renewal, an investment in the health of your soil, your plants, and the wider ecosystem. As your compost matures, you'll witness firsthand the magic of transformation. The way scraps become soil, and soil becomes food, flowers, and beauty. If you're just starting out, don't worry about perfection. Composting is forgiving, and nature knows how to balance itself. Over time, you'll develop an intuition for what your pile needs and how to keep it thriving. Share the process with family and friends, teach children about the cycles of life, and celebrate each batch of homemade compost as a victory for sustainability. In summary, turning kitchen scraps into compost is easy, rewarding, and accessible to everyone. With a simple DIY bin, a little know-how, and a commitment to reducing waste, you can transform everyday discards into a garden's greatest resource. So gather your scraps, build your bin, and start composting today. Your garden, your table, and the planet will thank you. And that's how you turn everyday waste into powerful compost. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more eco-friendly tips.